Welcome to Superstitions and Traditions. I'm Kristen.
I'm Trish.
And I'm Clarissa.
There's Ellie.
Jackson.
And he's Jackson. You got to get your face up close to Aunt Trish's. There you go.
There he is.
Okay.
All right.
You can play.
Jackson, today we are going to learn all about fairy rings.
Okay.
Do you know what a fairy ring is?
Okay, it is.
Don't ruin it with science yet. We are not ready for that.
No. It's time for my science joke.
Oh, okay.
Why do they call the mushroom the life of the party?
Why?
He's a fun guy to be with.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So fairy rings, Jackson, are mushrooms that grow in a circle.
Okay.
So if you see a whole bunch of mushrooms and they make a circle, that's called a fairy ring.
Okay.
Have you ever seen that before?
Okay, so there are three types of fairy rings. There is brown rings of dead grass, brown rings of greener grass, where it's like more healthy looking, just like in a circle.
Okay.
Or the presence of mushrooms in a circle, and that is my favorite thing ever to see. I get so excited about mushroom fairy rings. I love them.
I love them too. You're ready for the science check? No, not yet. Okay,
Don't.
keep going.
You let me have my fun before you ruin
All right.
it.
Okay, I'm being patient.
So, according to legend, in almost every culture, they are gateways to another world. In Celtic legend, they are gateways into the fairy kingdom, and they are caused by fairies or elves dancing in a circle.
Ooh.
But if a human walks upon it...
Why did Pink Pony Club just go through my mind?
Because that is your favorite song
It
ever
is.
in the history.
Okay.
If a human sees the fairies or the elves dancing in the circle and joins in, they will be forced to dance until they die of exhaustion.
Oh,
You don't get to dance with the fairies or the elves in the Celtic world.
they're kind of cranky.
I know. Their fairies aren't nice.
No, they are not. Ooh, because I would just kind of want to dance.
Yes, me
I
too.
want to dance with somebody. I want to feel the heat with somebody. Okay, keep going.
Okay. French legend says that they are ronds de sorcellerie, which is witches' circles. So it is witches that make them and not fairies or elves. But in the middle of it is a gigantic toad. If you step into the middle, a gigantic toad will appear.
Appear from underneath, kind of like a Mario.
Either that, I don't know, maybe like the mysticism or ectoplasm.
Ectoplasm. I love ectoplasm.
Anyway, it will appear one way or another.
Okay.
And curse any human who enters the circle.
giant frog that came from the
yes.
underneath. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
In Dutch legend, it is where the devil churns his milk to make butter.
Say that one more time.
Oh my gosh.
It is a circle
Uh-huh.
of mushrooms where the devil stores his milk churn to make butter. He makes butter, and I don't know why the devil needs butter.
So,
But apparently...
that could have been the strangest thing I've heard all day, and
Yes.
I've heard some strange stuff.
Right. I mean,
it used to
apparently
be-
the devil makes his butter in Dutch
So, I mean, like
lands.
he doesn't have the fairies do it. He makes his own butter with the little churn there.
I guess so.
Okay. All right. That makes good sense to me, so keep going.
Me too.
Science is not needed here, because all of this is...
It's just better than...
all this
Yes.
is just plausible.
Right.
Highly probable.
In German culture, it is called a Hexenring, and it is where witches would dance on April 30th, which is the night of Walpurgis.
9.
Which is a European celebration similar to Celtic belting, where they celebrate the ending of winter and the welcoming of spring.
Okay.
It is called Walpurgis in German culture. And on the night before, the witches dance in a circle, and that is what forms the fairy rings. Or in German, the Hexenwings, which is witch rings.
I will just say I didn't realize that witches dance as much as they do. So keep
Apparently
going.
they dance quite often.
Uh-huh.
In German culture, it is called Walpurgis for Saint Walpurga, which is an 8th century nun. Prior to that, it was called Hexennacht, which is a pagan day of witches gathering. Either way, they are celebrating the renewal of spring and the end of winter. So call it what you want. You know, the Catholics have to come in and not make it about witches. So they picked a saint, and Walpurga was the one they picked.
I don't know anybody. Name a saint. Name a saint.
We need a girl.
I need a girl.
I guess they
Get a
need a
girl
girl.
Okay. Because this is about mushrooms. We don't want men associated with mushrooms.
That's right.
Pick a girl.
Or dancing, or circles, or
That's right.
any of those girly things.
Yes.
In Austria, it was believed I'm going to assume that, just based on the legend, in Austria, rather than mushrooms growing in circles, it is more of like the dead grass or the barren land that's in a circle, kind of like a crop circle, which is also called a fairy ring. But they believed it was formed by dragon tails burning the ground, and nothing but toadstools, so I guess they didn't have mushrooms in it, could live for 7 years in that space, because I guess dragon tail burns.
They're a lot powerful.
7 years of bad luck. Or that patch of grass.
So don't you know someone had to step into there and have 7 years of bad luck, maybe, and then they thought, well, the dragon tails, that had to be.
It had to be the dragon tails.
Okay, keep going.
Native American tribes.
Seal.
Associate it with good luck and bison dancing in circles. The bigger it is, the bigger the bison that was dancing in a circle.
Okay, now see, that makes sense.
Yes.
I love how everything's dancing.
Everything was dancing. Yes.
I love that it's all
and for being so most of these legends or theories or whatever they were originated in the Middle Ages prior to the 12th century, so it's not like they were calling each other up on the phone or looking on social media or Wikipedia or whatever trying to figure out what it was. But all of them have dancing in it across the world.
So all of the different,
except Austria. That was just
Austria,
some random dragon.
No dancing. No dancing in Austria.
He wasn't dancing. He was just scorching earth with his tail.
I love it. Dancing is just, kids start dancing when they're little. It's just a natural.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
well,
having them grow near your home or seeing one is good luck. Crossing into one is bad. Don't ever step into one. That is bad luck. But having them exist in your area will bring you good luck in almost every culture.
Really?
Yes. They also, and this one I don't understand exactly, but there was a point in time when dew was considered cosmetic,
like dew on leaves.
Dew on leaves, yes, or on the ground.
On the ground, okay.
Was used as a cosmetic. It was like the best water to wash your face with, or things like that.
Yes.
And the dew inside of a fairy circle could be used in a love cushion. However, I don't understand how they would get it because that was bad luck.
Because you couldn't get in there because of all the dancing.
So I guess maybe they paused the dance to scoop some up for you.
You put someone you didn't like in there and made them go get it.
Okay, that'll work. Throw that bottle out before you
toss it out to me. Yes,
before you disappear into the fairy world.
I love that.
So entering into one is bad luck. In Wales, you can release a person by throwing marjoram and thyme into the ring to confuse the fairies.
Yes.
By throwing what in there?
Marjoram, and the herb, and thyme.
Not like the neighbor next door.
No.
Okay.
But so I guess somebody else has to know you're in there, or watch you go in there, and you would just carry it around with you for good luck. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't often. I am big on herbalism and herbs, but I do not carry either one of those with me.
No, I do.
Ever.
Maybe we should.
I'm thinking that perhaps
we need to get like just a little it would be very cute little vials of different
I
herbs
have
that we
little
could
vials. We can
fill
put
them with some
in.
herbs, so we can have them in a little. We can have them in a little fanny pack. I feel like we
that-
could rock the fanny
I
pack.
do too.
Okay.
Okay, let's not do that.
And for some reason, those two particular herbs confuse fairies. You can reverse the bad luck from entering into a fairy ring by running around it 9 times. You can enter a fairy ring safely if you enter with a hat on backwards, because that also fairies are easily confused. I understand. You put on a hat backwards, you confuse them.
I don't know that.
I mean, marjoram and thyme have a lot of medicinal purposes, but however, it causes confusion for fairies. So they're just easily confused.
Okay. Well, I think all of that sounds probably as close to the scientific truth that I can give you. But what if I just presented to you that it's not the dancing of the witches or the dragon tail, but that fairy rings do play a very important role in ecological processes, such as the inner flow, energy flow, and converting
Because
nutrients.
of the 2 realms? Is that the energy flow you're talking about? The flow of energy from the fairy realm into our... Nope, I guess not.
I'm talking about photosynthesis and decomposition.
Okay, whatever.
And soil development. Okay, so basically they are a fungus.
They are.
How old do you think the oldest one is?
I did the research on this, so I know the answer.
700 years old? Was that what you found?
It is, yeah.
700 years old.
Wow.
And 600 meters in diameter. Okay, so it is actually a homogeneous
Do you know how
species.
hard it would be to avoid that fairy ring?
Oh my
Aren't
gosh,
you
we
glad
should go mark
science is
that.
ruining this for us? Because you could accidentally stumble into a fairy. We could be in one right now and not know.
You're right.
Okay, so they are a homogeneous individual, okay, and they are established by spore propagation, which is the release of spores, okay? So they start out close together, and the mycelium is this part of the fungus that is underneath the ground, okay, and it's this little branches of stuff. And it covers this area. And then what it does is it's a decomposer. Fungi are decomposers. Besides the life of the party, they also break down dead organic matter.
They're fun guys.
Okay, so you have the majority of this fungus that's existing underneath, and that whole fairy ring is one homogeneous organism. That whole little branches of mycelium that go.
I feel
And
like there's
then-
more than one fairy dance.
Listen, and then when it's time for them to reproduce, when conditions become favorable, we get the right amount of water, we get the right amount of moistures come in, we're all in that. It's like, oh my gosh, it's time to reproduce. Then the fruiting bodies, which are the mushrooms that we see on the top, or the caps, those are actually the fruiting bodies of the fungus, and then it's going to drop more of its spores that will continue the propagation.
So it'll
and
just
spread out.
keep expanding.
Keep expanding. So,
Get a bigger
and they
ring.
don't grow inward. I mean, they'll use up those nutrients first. So as they use up, and then they grow outward, and then they continue to grow outward.
See, around where I lived in town, if you go past my street and take that curve, there is a fairy ring there that I go look for every year because it has been there for years and years.
And as long as no one messes up that mycelium underneath that growth
It will
structure.
just keep going. So
Okay, so they are not animals. They are not plants. They belong to the fungi kingdom. It's just they have their own little kingdom. Now, scientists used to put them in there with plants, and then they went, oh no, they don't carry out the process of photosynthesis, which is where we capture sunlight and use it to produce energy. They have to break down stuff in order to get their nutrients. So they put them in their.
they get their own little.
Yeah.
How nice!
And the
for them.
outside area is actually the healthiest because of all the converted nutrients. So that's why you'll have that greener, and sometimes you'll have that greener area. Okay, so you have that area that inside the circle, right? And then you have the mycelium that continues to grow outwards. And then sometimes that area just outside the mycelium is darker because that's where the richest nutrients are.
Okay.
And we've broken those down, but we don't have the fruiting bodies up yet because it's not time for spore propagation.
The spores aren't propagating.
I
I
know.
am all about propagating. I propagate lots of stuff.
I love spore propagation.
I don't propagate spores. But
Okay, so
any other house
And-
plant.
Okay, so they can grow up to 10 centimeters a year, just in case you were wondering.
I love that.
And some of them show up to 200 meters in diameter, and they're extremely large rings, and they can continue to grow. Now, ask me if we only have fairy rings like in deciduous or grassland ecosystems.
Do we only have fairy rings in the other words that you said?
Okay, no. We have different examples of very similar things to fairy rings, like in the redwood fairy ring. I love the redwood forest. So tell us, you go ahead and get started, and then I'll.
Well, they make I don't think it has anything to do with fairies dancing, but you have the big main redwood, and when it drops its little seeds, you have a little ring of baby redwoods growing around the mommy tree.
I love that.
Yes,
And that is the scientific definition. Mommy tree, baby trees in a circle.
Okay, so when the mama and daddy tree fall in love, and there we go. And sometimes, like, I know you find this hard to believe, but we went through this immense period of deforestation in the United States,
You're
where
kidding.
we even cut down the giant sequoias and redwoods. And with that, when you cut them down, then sometimes that root system wants to really propagate, because that's a temperate deciduous ecosystem. Gosh, I'm just so excited. And in that temperate deciduous system, it's very similar to a tropical rainforest, only it's different, but you have a lot of the same conditions. So as that tree stump dies off, and those roots the roots will send up little baby trees so it can reproduce sexually and asexually. So obviously, if it reproduces sexually, then you're going to get a different species, right? If it's an asexual reproduction, then it would just be
the same
homogeneous to the
tree.
parent.
Right.
Yeah. And
I think that's cool I know it spoke specifically of the redwoods,
right.
but even like where I lived before was forested area, and I had pecan trees all over my backyard, but you could go out there and just see a little ring of baby pecan trees.
Yes.
Circling the bigger pecan trees. I just thought that was neat.
Oh, it is neat. And then
Not as neat as the mushroom circles, but
witches dancing and dragon tails. It's hard to beat that.
I know you can't beat that.
Hey, but now what about the desert?
Is this the where
Fairy
there's no
circle. So it's a little different than a fairy ring, but it's a fairy circle. Are you familiar with those in the
No.
desert? Okay, so they have found areas of the desert where there's just like, and they're very symmetrical, but there's giant circles that are just out in this area, and you can see them from above, and you see these
she's
circles.
about to tell us aliens.
It's aliens.
Well,
I already know.
I think
Okay,
she's going to tell us that it's not, and once again, kill us with science.
So these are in southern Africa, and then
Not
in the
aliens.
desert. Believe it or not, ecologists have studied and tried to figure out. I mean, you see a pattern like
That's
this,
the
you
dirt.
wanna know.
Like there's
Yes.
nothing growing
Yes.
in them.
So they thought,
yes.
okay. So they thought, well, it's termites.
Really?
It's not. But they thought that because science, you have to have a theory. You have to
Right, and you have to research
and you formulate a hypothesize, and then you do your experiment, and that either supports or refutes your hypotheses. And either way is a win-win. Even if your hypothesis is refuted, then you actually can gain something and learn from there. But what they found out was that they thought, well, we're going to study the termites, and we're going to see what's happened. Well, then the scientist then Getzen from the University of I can't say that, in Germany, decided that he's going to do more intense studies. So what he found out is he started studying the size of the different grasses, and to find out if it was an eco-hydrological event or feedback that caused the grass to die off.
Eco-hydrological?
Let's break that down. Eco meaning ecology or environment, hydro, water, and feedback meaning.
So basically, he was studying how water in that ecosystem.
Right. So they thought maybe those are reservoirs.
We're boring him.
They decided that termites was not the cause. We've come back, right? Because if it were termites, then you would have different varying sizes of the grass. Okay, so in those circular areas where there's no grass, that they have geometrically the grasses geometrically arrange themselves in this shape so that there is more water available. So those shapes are barren of water, and it's kind of like a little pool, but then the areas next to it, that water will filter over there, and then they'll have the greater ability to grow in that area. So that's called the ecohydrological feedback.
Hydrological feedback. Okay.
So basically the barren circles become reservoirs that help sustain the grasses at the edges through the expanse of grasses in the middle.
Okay.
And that is how...
So that is why that there's... Because I did read about that. But there was no mushrooms or fairies involved.
Yes. The ones in the desert, no dragons,
nobody
no
cares about your dirt.
no fairies.
Your little circles
Just
of
dirt and grass trying to beat just trying to grow, man. We're just trying to get...
Just trying to grow.
Just trying to grow.
I understand.
That's it.
I'm just trying to grow, too.
Yes. So that's really all I have.
I love it.
But whereas some of you may feel that science is not near as exciting as dragon tales and fairies, to me, it is the spark that lights my day.
And you don't want to have to dance until you die of exhaustion with the fairies.
I have been at several bars where I thought that I would dance with fairies until I died of exhaustion.
It's a whole different kind of fairies.
But it was a Christmas Eve, and after Christy and I knocked over the tree, and the fairies gained their voice back to the, and then we just rolled, and it was a wonderful time.
I'm glad you had a wonderful time.
Yes. So there's nothing wrong with dancing with fairies until exhaustion.
Okay.
I love them both. I like it from both directions.
Yeah. Science. Imagination. Science is imagination too.
It is. It's required. You have to have the theory.
Yes.
To test the theory to know if it's right or not. So science is basically the same thing they were doing in the Middle Ages while they're trying to figure out what causes they're
you just tell me you saw the dragon tail on the fairies, the witches
but with
dancing.
A twist.
Science with a twist. I like it.
That is superstition. Science with a twist.
Regardless, if you see a fairy ring, a fairy circle, or any of those things, don't disturb it, because if it's your version or my version, you don't want to mess with the witches or the dragons.
Right.
I don't want you to mess with the mycelium.
Right. With the mycelium, because we want to let it keep growing.
Mycelium is very important.
Yes. To the ecosystem. And the longer you leave it, the bigger the fairy circle gets.
Exactly.
Which is so cool for me.
So may your fairy circle continue to grow.
That's right. All right. Let us know what you think. Have a good day. Be kind.
Oh, please be kind. Life is
not just to the fairies, dragon tails, and mycelium. Be kind to everybody.
Yes. Yes.
Especially now.
Yes. Kindness, we need it.
More than ever.